So now I got 4.
Can
But I don't know what that one.
can I start this one, please?
Yeah.
Okay, you are talking about the cost management concepts. Okay, there are 5 different chapters are there: cost management, cost accumulation, cost allocation, and supply chain management, and business process improvement. Okay, from this chapter, how many percentage will be there? 15% of marks will be there. Okay, we are going to calculate. Okay, we are going to work out basic things. We are saying that the study unit discuss the foundational material be used in many areas, the basics of cost management, in terms of the cost management, in terms of budgeting and performance management. Okay, what are the things we are covering? We are talking about the variable cost, we are talking about the fixed cost, we are talking about the mixed cost. Mixed means semi-variable. Okay, semi-variable. Okay, it is mixed cost means you have the direct cost, you have the indirect cost, you have the manufacturing cost and non-manufacturing cost, you have the product cost, you have the period cost, you have the actual cost, normal cost, and absorption costing versus variable cost. These are the basic fundamentals. Okay, now what they are asking, cost management is at the heart of management accounting. The CMA exam greatly, okay, emphasis on this study area. They will focus on this study area. The candidate will face many questions, include numbers also, calculations, okay, numerical calculation, and other knowledge with respect to cost terminology and implication of cost management. How best we can work out the cost factors as such. There is a long-term value, strategic value in knowing the cost, long-term value. For example, cost need to be known. What is the long-term value? We want to know what is the pricing decisions, what is the overhead allocation process as such. Okay, for this purpose, we are using the cost management techniques. Okay, now when you do the things, okay, first and foremost, see, you have 3 different aspects are there. If you take into consideration, is that if you take into consideration, you will have what? You will have the financial accounting, you have a management accounting, you have a cost accounting. Okay, financial accounting we have done. Okay, what is the financial accounting? Financial accounting specifically you are using for external users. Okay, we are using for external users, we are using the financial statements as per the gap. Okay, and most importantly, financial accounting is called as a historical past. Okay, these are the most important. It is for external users, it is in terms of financial statements, it is going to be used the gap, and it is basically it is a historical in nature. Okay, now what is the management accounting? Management accounting is for internal users, for the managers. Okay, for the managers, the management accounting goal is to produce, what we are doing, we are generating the reports. Is that why we are generating the reports? We are generating the reports, past reports, with respect to the, so that we can make the decision. Decision making process will be with respect to the management accounting. And management accounting will not think about the past. Management accounting will think about the future. Okay, again, if you take into consideration, it is going to be the internal users. They will going to generate reports. It is helpful in the decision making, and most importantly, it is with respect to what? Future. Okay, now what is the cost accounting? See, this is the what is the management accounting? Management accounting basically it will produce the reports. Okay, now what is the cost accounting? Cost accounting will support. It will support both financial and management accounting. Okay, it is in between. Okay, we are talking about the cost accounting with respect to the cost of resources required. What is the cost of resources required? Cost of resources consumed. Okay, in underlies effective reporting for. It is going to be help for whom? It is going to be help for both for external users and the internal users. Now you are talking about, you put the cost accounting here. Cost accounting will benefit the financial accounting. Cost accounting will benefit the management accounting. Okay, in financial accounting, what is the difference in financial accounting? Where we use in financial accounting? In financial accounting, we use the information with respect to cost of goods sold. Okay, cost of goods, sales minus cost of goods sold, it is the gross profit and inventory in external financial report and the closing value of inventory. This is the purpose of the financial accounting. Only two places. One we are talking in terms of cost of goods sold and another in terms of valuation of inventory. Whereas in the managerial accounting, cost information is used to make decisions about the cost, about the production, about the budgeting and about the pricing. Is it? We are talking about the managerial accounting is basically what? It is basically for generating the reports. Okay, it is basically generating the reports as such. Okay, now what they have given you. Okay, now you have to in financial what as per the is it as per the international management accountants in two senses. Okay, the financial accounting, the sacrifice measured by the what is the in financial accounting. Okay, what are the sacrifice measured by the price paid or required to be paid to acquire goods and services. The sacrifice measured in the price paid, sales. Okay, sales. Okay, it means that what we are going to pay. It is going to be it is in simple terms. It is nothing but what we are going to pay. Okay, what you are going to pay in terms of what is the relation with respect to the cost. That what is the word of the cost is referred to the value or to the value of goods or service. Is it? When you have purchased, when we say what is the cost, whenever you are purchasing a product, the word cost will be used. Somebody asks you what is the cost of the product, what is the cost of the smartphone, what is the cost of the price. Okay, you will say what is the price of the car. Okay, or cost. When cost is used in this sense, a cost is an asset. Is that you are saying that I am having a car. They will ask you what is the cost of the car. Means car is asset to you. Okay, when the benefits of acquisition expire, the cost becomes expense or loss. Means if there is no benefit, okay, you are going to say that you are acquiring an asset and you are saying that this asset is for how many years? This asset will be for 5 years. After 5 years, okay, after 5 years, the value of the asset will be how much? The value of the asset will be 0. This is what the cost financial accounting talks about. What is the management accounting? Is a measure of monetary item of the amount of resources used. Is it? What is the resources? The term by itself is a non-operational. Means what is in the measurement in monetary terms of the amount of resources. You have used the resources. You have the resources of how much? $100 for some purpose. The term by itself is a non-operational. It becomes operational when modified the term for the purpose. Define what is the purpose. Here, what is the when you are saying it is going to be measured in the monetary terms, then we will say what is the amount of resources used. How much you have resource. Cost, is it you hear that they are talking about the acquisition cost. Acquisition cost is nothing but the purchase cost. Incremental cost, what is the additional cost? And what is the fixed cost? Means now you see the thing. If you take into consideration the financial accounting, in financial accounting, we will refer it to what? We will refer it to cost of is an asset. Whereas in the operational accounting, it becomes operational when we are taking in terms of acquisition cost either incremental cost or in terms of, we will cover each and everything in detail. Okay, is in detail. These are the basic definitions. If you have not studied this before to such a depth, what is the cost object? An object we cost. See, what is the cost object? We say what is the product of the cost. You will say smartphone. Okay, smartphone is the object. Is it? Car is an object. Is it? Car. Laptop is an object. What is the cost of the laptop? Okay, what is the cost? Is it? It is a cost. We are talking about the service. Okay, we are talking about the service. Then we say what is the cost of the employee? Okay, what is the cost of the employee? Attaching, we are relating. Examples with respect to cost of the product, cost of the process, cost of the employees, what is the cost of the department, and cost of the facility. If you put all the things into consideration, it is going to be identified as an object. Are you clear about this? Is it cost object? Okay, what is the cost driver? Okay, what drives the cost? Okay, what drives the cost? It is a measure of activity. Is it? We call it as a measure of activity. Cost driver is based on the cost, assigned cost based on the object. Based on the object in terms of product, in terms of process, in terms of employees. Okay, what is the skilled labor, unskilled labor? Is it? It is driving you. Okay, it drives you. How many number of hours you have paid? Okay, how many number of hours you have paid for the laborers? How many number of kilometers it has been run? How many number of machine hours it has been run? Okay, what is the cost driver which drives the cost? See what will happen if the driver, okay, if the cost driver, okay, if the cost driver increases, automatically what happens? The cost will also increases. Is it? Cost number of machine hours are increasing. What will happen? Cost will also increases. You are driving more number of miles. Okay, more number of miles, automatically cost will also increases. Okay, the capacity is increasing. Okay, if you put very clearly, the capacity is increasing. Okay, the capacity is increasing. When the capacity will increase, the cost will also increases. Is that what are you clear about this?
Yeah.
Okay, such as what is the cost drivers? Cost drivers are direct labor hours. Number of labor hours are increasing, the cost will increase. Number of machine hours are increasing, cost will increase. If the number of machine hours decreases, cost will decrease. Number of beds occupied in the hospital. Okay, number of beds. What will happen if number of beds hospital is employed increasing? The cost will increase. If you are using more computer time, cost will increase. Number of flight hours. Okay, if you are having more, if you are traveling, and if the flight is for 5 hours, the cost will be less. The flight is for 10 hours, the cost will be more. So number of miles driven. These are all cost drivers. Number of more. What will happen in simple terms? If there is a driver is increasing, automatically cost will increase. Is a number of contracts are increasing, cost will. There is a casual, normal relation factor, that is the incurrence of the cost to the entity. It is a normal factor, isn't it? Where what happens to the cost? Definitely, you are using more resources. In simple terms, I will put like this: if you are using more resources, okay, resources are increasing. What will happen? Cost will also increase. If the resources are decreasing, what will happen? Cost will also decrease. Are you clear about this? Okay, the key aspect of the cost driver is what is the cause and effect relationship. If the number of miles increases, cost is increasing. If the number of miles are decreasing, cost will decrease. It will have a cause and effect. between the quantity of the driver consumed. If the consumption is more, the amount will also increases. If the consumption is less, the amount will also be less. Are you clear about this? Very simple, very detailed. Understand, that's the most important. What is the cost object and what is the cost driver? Okay, that is the, are you clear about this?
Yeah.
Okay, read very quickly from here to here, slowly. Once it is done, please tell. Is it okay? Now, what they're saying, see another thing. They basically this much in detail we are not going to cover anyway. Okay, we are talking about this one, direct cost. Direct cost is classified how they are assigned to the how we are going to track. Direct costs are that are associated with a particular cost object. What is the cost object we are talking about? Cost object is the with respect to the product process. Okay, what is the cost object? Cost object is with respect to the product, with respect to the process. Okay, with respect to the employees. Okay, with respect to the employees. Okay, likewise. Okay, likewise. It is a particular cost object. What is the direct cost of the product? What is the direct cost of the employees? In an economic feasible way, that is, they can be traced to that project. Traced means what is that we can identify. Okay, we can identify, we can measure, we see this is the direct cost. What is the direct cost they are talking about? Direct cost of the direct materials is a direct cost. Labor inputs is a direct cost. Is a process to a manufacturing process discussed under manufacturing and non-manufacturing. We'll cover this. Okay, but what is the direct cost? Direct cost is with respect to the direct materials, direct labor inputs. Okay, direct means you will have a direct, you will have the indirect. Direct means if you take into we are purchasing the product specifically for that product only. We are purchasing the materials for that product only. Okay, for that raw materials. Okay, what is the indirect cost? Indirect cost cannot be visited and cannot be associated with a particular object. They say what are the examples are they here? Now they have seen, they are talking about the indirect material. Okay, indirect material and indirect labor. Is the indirect labor very simple? Is that if you are talking about the what is the indirect labor? Indirect labor is nothing but the salaries. Okay, indirectly we are what is happening, these people are doing the service. Okay, these people are doing the service for multiple departments. Is it with respect to multiple departments. Okay, this is what we are talking about, the cost with respect to the direct cost and indirect cost. If you put all the cost into one class, it is going to be called as a cost pool. Okay, what is the cost? We should understand what is the cost pool is an account. It is means you are adding all the things to which the variety of similar cost. Okay, variety means we are putting together in a summary form. Okay, with a common cost of accumulate total. Okay, total. That to simplify allocation process, indirect costs are often collected in cost pools. Means what we are similar. The most important thing is variety of similar cost elements. Okay, see variety similar cost. If you say selling and distribution, is that selling means selling expenses and distribution expenses. Okay, if you take selling and distribution, okay, you take selling expense. In selling expenses, if you take the similar cost, okay, selling, what are the things you are talking in terms of sales van charges. Okay, sales van charges. You will talk about the sales staff charges. Okay, so you are talking about sales staff. You are talking about the sales promotions. Okay, you are talking about sales advertisements. Okay, you are talking about sales advertisement. Means you are going to have similar cost elements grouped in together, and it is not a direct cost. Means when you are talking about selling expenses, you are selling multiple products. Okay, you are selling multiple products. Okay, if you take into consideration milk industry, okay, if you take into consideration milk, they will sell milk. Okay, they will sell milk. Is that they will sell yogurt? Okay, they will sell yogurt. They will sell the laban also. They will sell. Okay, they are selling different products. Okay, but they are all are similar. Okay, variety of similar for the same purpose. That is the cost pool. It is preferably for all the cost in the cost pool to have the same cost driver. What is the cost driver? Tell me again, please. What is the cost driver? Just go back. Okay, that is the reason I told you to. What is the cost driver? Cost driver is nothing but, it has been mentioned. Where is that? See, where is the cost driver? It is a measure of activity. What is the cost drivers? you have the direct material, labor hours, machine hours, bed occupied. Okay, is it right? What they say? It is preferable all the cost in the cost pool to have the same cost drivers. Is that machine hours? Okay, we are talking in terms of machine hours. Okay, we are talking about machine hours. The most important thing is you have to have a clear understanding about the cost driver, cost object, cost pool. Okay, machine hours. You are talking in terms of machine hours. You are talking about the labor hours. Okay, that is the if the cost driver increases, the cost of the product will increase. You have the overheads. Overheads are otherwise called as a indirect. Okay, overheads are otherwise called as indirect. They say that we'll cover in the next. It is commonly used to cost pool to which various untraceable cost means anything we cannot find relevant. Okay, anything we cannot find relevant, then immediately what you will do, you put it in a untraceable cost. Is there anything we cannot identify easily? Okay, anything we cannot see what will happen. Assume we are going to say that overheads. They take an example. Take very clear. You are talking about the salaries. Salaries, a person will do the job for different people, for different departments. If you are doing with a group of persons are doing HR department, they are doing not only service for one particular, they are doing the service for entire organization. Then whatever the cost is going to be, that cost is going to be identified as what? Overheads. Okay, but it is related to what? It is related to manufacturing process. Okay, manufacturing process. Okay, this is what we are talking about the overheads. Next is that what they say, there are some cost will be the common cost. Common cost is otherwise called as a indirect cost. Same thing, whatever indirect cost we have identified where it is common cost. You cannot allocate for a particular product, service or process. Okay, it is allocated to everywhere. A common cost is the cost incurred for benefiting more than one cost object. Okay. Is it okay? Fine, 1 second. Okay. Next. What is the common cost? Common cost is otherwise called as an indirect cost. Okay. A common cost is a cost incurred for more than one cost. The what indirect cost? Simply don't get confused. It is a type of a indirect cost. Okay, common cost is notably an indirect cost. Don't get confused with respect to so much terminology, language. Okay, the key to common cost is that we cannot trace it to a single object. Okay, see what will happen. You take into consideration. Electricity. Okay, you take it. Electricity is if we are providing electricity for the entire premises. Okay, it is a common cost. Is it right? Very simple. Water, it is a common cost. Everybody is using the water. Okay, it is a common cost. Is that we are giving for a cleaning purpose. Okay, the persons who are cleaning is cleaning the entire premises. Okay, it is a common cost. Is that the key to common cost is that they cannot trace to a single object. They must be allocated in a very systematic and a rational. They will divide it. See why it is very easy is ultimately we are going to calculate what? We are going to calculate cost per unit. Cost per unit plus profit is equal to going to be what? It is going to be selling price per unit. That is the reason. Okay? If that is, see, what is the when you are what is the purpose of learning this chapter is when we are calculating the cost, we calculate the cost precisely. If you don't do the things precisely, automatically what will happen? The cost of the product will increase. Okay, we have to accurately calculate. That is the reason they say that it should be calculated in a systematic and in a rational, unbiased basis. Okay, unbiased basis. Very interesting. Okay, an example is a depreciation or rent. Rent is a common cost. Okay, we are giving rent for the entire floor. Is that entire floor on the headquarter building? This is the direct cost when treating the building as a whole. Okay, it will be direct cost. Direct cost with respect to the product. Okay, product. We are talking about rent. When we are saying that, yeah, what is the rent? Rent is for the building. Directly we are identifying. But it is a common cost with respect to the department. In the building, you will have multiple departments. In the building, you have multiple departments located in the building. Thus, it must be allocated when reviewing the individual department. See, very simple. Look like this. You are working in HR department. Okay, your friend is working on the marketing department. Another person is working in finance department. Definitely, what is that? There will be a departmental budget will be there. Definitely, you want to show that your department cost is less. Anything related to HR, you will not add up. You will say that this is not my cost, this is the cost of the HR department. Otherwise, what will happen when we are making a performance evaluation? When we are making a performance evaluation, automatically what will happen? The cost of the finance department will be more, whereas the cost of the HR department will be less. Not only in terms of department, in terms of product also. In terms of product, just imagine, very simply, very practically you see, it is like we are going to say that it is going to be 512 GB. It is going to be 1054, 1052, or is 10, how much is it? 1024, okay, 124 GB. Now we are saying the moment your GB is increasing, automatically what will happen? There is a cost difference will be there. Cost difference, cost will be increased. Okay, that is the reason I will not take the cost. Other what will happen? Now you will see when we are purchasing the product, we will compare what is the 48 GB is going to be $50, 1024 GB is going to be $80. Immediately you will compare. Then they will fix the price very accurately so that we are going to say if it is overpriced, people will not buy. If it is underpriced, okay, if it is overpriced, I will write very clearly. If it is going to be overpriced, people will not buy. Okay, customers will not buy. Okay, people will not buy. So if it is underpriced, okay, if it is underpriced, what will happen? It will be a loss to the entity. Are you clear about this? Okay. That is the reason we are very much concerned about what is the direct cost, what is the indirect cost, what is the common cost. Okay, this is the purpose of costing. What is the manufacturing and non-manufacturing? Anything related to direct material, anything related to direct labor. See, cement is there, material steel is there, okay, material inputs are there. Inputs to the manufacturing is it manufactured that are practically we trace or we can identify, okay, we can identify easily, okay. If you can identify easily to the product, see the thing, sheet metal welded together or a heavy equipment, it is a direct material inputs. Okay, somewhere they have made it very clear. What are the things? It is a traceable inputs. Okay, it is the inputs raw materials. Is that you are talking about? See, we are talking about any manufacturing. Is that you are talking about plastics, batteries, is there cables are there? Okay, anything directly we are tracing out, it is a direct material. In addition to the purchase price, what we are going to add? We are not going to add the purchase price, but what is the any transportation cost, bringing of raw material to the production line. Any transportation cost we will add. Any costing which is directly related to the product materials. Okay, material any cost, okay, transportation cost. Is that make it very clear? Any handling cost, okay, any handling cost, any cost which is related to that product, you will add it. What is it? That is the direct material. What is the direct labor? Direct labor is the cost of the human labor. Again, if it is when it is a direct, it definitely what will happen? It will be traced to the product. Wages are given. See, that is the reason. Wages will always be direct labor, whereas salaries is an indirect labor. Okay, that's it. Why? Because wages are doing particular job. Okay, particular job. You want to construct a house. You are going to go there. You will get the people who can work for a particular job. They will do the task and they will go. Whereas indirect means salaries. They are not doing job for only one specific activity. They are doing the job for the entire business activity. That is any indirect cost relating to the manufacturing is called as overhead. Overheads are otherwise called as the indirect cost. Consist of all costs of manufacturing that are not direct, means indirect, or direct materials or labor. We will say indirect materials. Is there any supporting materials, welding component? You have the sticks. Okay, welding sticks will be there. You should understand. Okay, we have the weld anything. Okay, we are talking about one. You are purchasing water, but you are using the water for different purposes, different products. It is we are purchasing water, but it is used for different products, different manufacturing process. Then it is going to be called as an indirect material. Okay, it is indirect material. In the same way, indirect labor. Okay, indirect human labor mostly. Okay, you are hiring one person, but he is doing multiple tasks. Okay, you are hiring one person, and see that what your supervisors are there. Supervisor is not supervising only one team. Okay, supervisors will what they will do. Supervisors will supervise multiple teams. Okay, supervisors will supervise multiple locations. Okay, supervisors will supervise multiple teams. Supervisors will supervise multiple processes. Okay, when you talk about the depreciation, whether you operate or you don't operate, you have to reduce the value of depreciation. Okay, you have to reduce the value of the equipment. Okay, you have to reduce the value of the factory equipment. Just like this, you are talking insurance, okay, factory operating cost. What will happen? In some cases, it will be there. In some cases, if you are operating these many units, then you have to pay insurance. Every year you have to pay insurance. Okay, every year you have to calculate depreciation. Okay, operating cost. Every year you have to utilities. Okay, you have to pay for wear and tear. Okay, we have to pay for wear and tear. Means when you are talking about the manufacturing overheads includes indirect material, indirect labor, and factory expenses. Read very quickly. Read. When you are reading, you understand much better. Is it okay? Next. Okay, very clear. Once class is over, just that's it. The same thing. Prime cost is one of the things. Prime cost includes equal to direct material plus direct labor. Very clear. Okay, very clear. Prime cost. We have done this. Yeah, it is nothing like new we are going to do. These are with the directly. Where is the conversion cost? Conversion cost is equal to direct labor plus any overheads. Is it direct labor plus manufacturing over conversion cost? Conversion cost is nothing. It will not include material cost. Okay, it will not include material cost. What is the conversion cost? Conversion cost is direct labor plus any manufacturing overheads. So the concept is converting the raw material into finished product. We have to identify what is the conversion cost. We have to calculate what is the manufacturing cost, manufacturing overheads. Like that, we have to make things very, very clear and very, very specific. Okay, this is what the prime cost. Prime cost is nothing but direct material plus direct labor. Conversion cost is direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. Costs that are not manufacturing costs. Is it not non-manufacturing costs? They are following the two most classes. These are not the manufacturing. Very simple. Selling and marketing expenses is non-manufacturing. Administration expenses is non-manufacturing. Is it okay? Read this one very quickly. Very quickly means with understanding. Don't rush. I will tell like that only. Next one. Are you confident? Are you understanding? Okay. Now, what is the
I try to remember what I said before.
yeah? Selling and distribution. Selling is not a manufacturing cost. Okay. There is a selling and distribution. That is the reason. What we are going to do, we will going to say that this is going to be otherwise called as an indirect cost. Okay, indirect cost. Okay. Now, another classification, another what is the what very most important. There is a product cost, there is a period cost. The product cost is also called as inventoriable cost. Okay, what is the product cost? Product cost is nothing but the eventually becomes, it is otherwise called as a cost of goods sold. Product cost is a capitalized as per the finished goods inventory. They eventually become a component of cost. What is the product cost? It is the cost of goods sold. Such as, what is the cost of product cost? Product cost consists of the direct material and direct labor. Product cost also includes, okay, product cost includes what? It includes the manufacturing overhead cost. Okay, what is the manufacturing overhead? Immediately go back. Okay, what is the manufacturing overhead cost? Manufacturing overhead cost is indirect material, indirect labor, and factory operating cost. Is it manufacturing? Is it indirect material? Is it indirect material, indirect labor, with of factory operating cost. It looks very easy, but really, when you are going to question answers, it is very, very confusing, okay, very challenging to us to identify the correct element of costing. Period cost. Is it a period cost? Period cost is nothing but what is the period cost? Period cost is nothing but we are paying for a month. Okay, we are paying for a month. We are paying for a week. Okay, we are paying for a. They are expense as incurred. Okay, meaning that they will get not capitalized. When you are capitalizing, here they are mentioned. When you are capitalizing, what will happen? Finished good. The cost of goods sold will increase. The cost of goods sold will increase. Period cost is that it is otherwise called as an indirect cost, but we will not say whichever is cost not included, which is excluded from the cost of goods sold, which is not. What is the cost of goods sold? Cost of goods sold is the direct material and direct labor, including manufacturing overhead. If you are, it is excluding, when you are saying it is excluding which one? Excluding the direct materials, okay, excluding the direct labor, okay, excluding the direct labor, excluding what? Excluding manufacturing overhead. Okay, period cost and product cost, cost object, cost pool, okay, conversion cost. See that you will find very interesting. We are talking about the prime cost. Okay, prime cost is what? It is the direct materials plus direct labor. Conversion cost is direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. So there is a very close understanding. The close meaning will be there. You have to be very, very choosy, very specific, very selective when you are doing this process as such. Are you clear about this? Okay. Next. What is the second classification we are talking about? The cost behavior. Is it they are talking about the cost when we are saying what is the variable cost? Variable cost will change. Okay, variable cost will grow when the production will increase. Okay, when the production is increases and it will not change. Okay, it will not change. Whether it is we are used or we are not using rent will remain same. But if we are saying is that if we are saying the electricity, okay, electricity is a number of units, okay, number of units, number of units into rate per unit. Okay, number of units in rate. That is what that is the series. What is that? This is the fixed cost. Okay, this is the fixed cost. It will not change. Okay, it will not change. Whereas this is the variable cost. This is not even it is not going to be called as a variable cost. It is like it is going to be it is total cost. Total cost is when we say it is a total cost. They are mentioned. It is a total cost of fixed as well as variable. Now, what will happen? You are increasing the number of activities. The activity increases. If the units are increasing, if the units are increasing, okay, if the units are increasing, what will happen? I said, if the units are 10, okay, the cost will be how much? We have calculated. The cost will be 400. If the units are 60 units, okay, the cost will be how much? The cost will be 2000. As the units are increasing, what will happen? Cost will also increase. Okay, cost per unit will remain same. Okay, we don't put like this.
the room.
Okay, it is going to be how much? Assume it is going to be 1000 divided by you are manufacturing how many units? 100 units. Fixed cost will be how much? 10 per unit. Is that fixed cost? If you are having fixed cost will remain fixed. Is that it will not change. But if you are manufacturing how many units? If you are manufacturing more units, 400 units, how much will be the fixed cost will be 2.5 per unit. If you manufacture